Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, inshallah, I'm going to summarize day 6 of the NAHW dream program. So, but quickly, just to recap about flexibility, we're only concerned about the ending sound. Of course, that's only in the singular form, as we can see here, like Muslim, Muslim, and Muslimin. Of course, we are not concerned with the dual or the plural form. And of course, also the Ism Mawsul. We are talking about here the singular and also the plural form, that they are non-flexible. However, for the dual form, like for example, hadani, ahatani, and all this, they might also be partly flexible. So for the day 6, we were focusing more on how to identify partly flexible words. Like what I understood from my notes, like it's generally just like separated into, I would say, two broad categories. For example, there are names of people, and of course also names of places. Then for the names of people, we're talking about maybe Arab names or non-Arab names, and by default, Arab names are fully flexible. So which means like the ones that are not flexible are actually like non-Arab names. For example, here Yusuf Ismail, so you can have Yusufu, Yusufa, Yusufa. So the nas and the jar is actually Yusufa and Yusufa, and the other examples also. And of course, like the four names of the Prophet mentioned in the Quran, like Muhammad, Salih, and Hud, and Shu'aib. Like I try to remember them like by using an acronym. NUS is H, like a much, but of course S with SH again. So M for Muhammad, U for Hud, and then Salih, and then Shu'aib, SH. And of course, there are also another exceptions. For example, when you have, from my note here also, when you have like three words, even though they are non-Arab names, they could become fully flexible. Of course, we said that Arab names are fully flexible, but then if they are like non-Arab names, but they are only three letters, and of course the middle letter also has a sukun, then it can become fully flexible. So that's about under name, the one part of it, like Arab name or non-Arab name, or is it three letters or not three letters? Then of course, if it's also having a sukun in between these three letters. Then we're also talking about feminine names and of course uniquely masculine names. For example, for name of people, like if you talk about Jamil, talk about Jamila too, you talk about Amin, talk about Amina too, and the rest like that. You can have some like a male and female counterparts. When you talk about, for example, Aisha too, talk about Khadija, Fatima too, and the rest like that. Like Widad and all these examples that Ustadh also gave. Iman, you cannot really like find like you cannot say like Fatima today, you say Fatima like for men, no, it's not like that. So in that case, they are actually partly flexible. So we have Aisha, Aisha too, Aishata, Aishata. That's why from the hadith you can actually have, for example, an Aishata. In that case, Aishata there is actually like a jar from, because of course an is like a half of jar. And then yeah, that's it. But you can actually have an Zaid. So in that sense, like an Zaidi, yeah, because you can actually have is an Arab name, so it can actually come in that fully flexible form. Zaidun, Zaid and Zaidi, right? And of course, like if it's actually name of men that are like uniquely like they're only like for men. For example, Hamza too, Hamza, Muawiyah, Osman, Nu'man, Umar. So you cannot have like a female version of them or something like that. It's just like uniquely for men. So they are also partly flexible. As you can see, Omar, Umaru, Umara, Umara. Then now that's about the names. And also about the places. For example, proper names of places like you can talk about any name you have in your mind. They're usually like partly flexible. Like name of places, like the name of a country and stuff like that. For example, Makkah is a place. Yathribu Jahannam is a place. We pray Allah to protect us from there. So you can say Jahannam, Jahannam, Jahannam. And of course, but then if we have the alif lam, just like we learned in lesson 5, in day 5, that if they have the alif lam, then they become like, when you say al akbaru, al akbaro, al akbari, right? So, but normally it's akbaru, akbaro, akbar. So the same concept also similar here. When you say al iraq, al bayan, so you can say al bayanu, al bayana, al bayani. because then it's like a fully flexible. Iraq, al-Hindu, al-Hinda, then al-Hindi. So it becomes fully flexible. And of course, also if it is also the same like 3 letters and it has the middle letter with a sukun, it also becomes like partly fully flexible. Sorry. So when you say adnun, so you can say adinan, then of course admin. So I think that's that also. Let me check my note just to cross check. Yeah, name of places, Iraq, yeah. And of course, like there's one very interesting example that Ustadh gave during the lesson about Misru and Misra, like different part of the Quran where Allah actually use both. So Misru, of course, we expected that it's 3 letters. It's like it has the middle one is a sukun, so you should have like fully flexible, right? And then we also have Misra. But then, like, according to the explanation, that is like the name of a place, like Egypt, and of course also a foreign word, so it becomes like a partly flexible. But of course, if we talk about Misran, then Misrin, then in that case, it actually means like an outskirts or like a countryside or just a land generally. And that's the ayah of the Quran where Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Allah was talking about Quran when we talk about Alaysa li mulku Misra. So in that sense, he's talking about Misra as Egypt. وهذه الأنهار تحتي تجري من تحتي. So like in that sense, the Misra there is actually like Egypt. And of course, another one where Allah is talking about the people of Musa, and Allah said, Bitu Misra. So in that sense, Misra. So in that sense, that is like the countryside. So yeah. Then of course, also I think what other thing there, of course, the drill. Like we have to discuss this and why they are like is the public flex, is it fully flexible, and what is the reason. Muhammadun number one, of course, that is pretty easy. It's an Arab name, so it's fully flexible. Huda, of course, is non-flexible because of course it ends with this ya maksura. So it's that mabni on this Huda. You cannot say Huda and Hudin. No, it's just Huda. Right? Jahannam is the name of a place, so that would be Jahannamu, Jahannamu. So it's like a partly flexible, right? Because the name of place. So Makkatu, right? So it's also a name of place. And Umar, of course, the unique name of a man. So that is Umaru. And Talhatu, the same also like Umar. So you can say Talhatu. Salihun, Salihun. Because of course an Arab name, as we said, one of the name of the Prophet, mentioned in the Quran. Nuhun, of course, because it's 3 letters, and of course the middle one is actually like sukun, so that is fully flexible. That is Nuhun, Nuhin, even though it's not actually an Arab name. So it becomes fully flexible because it's 3 letters, and of course it has a sukun in the middle. Nuhin, and Nuhin. Then Adnan, of course, that's the name of the place, and of course it also has 3 letters, just like Nuhin, but of course it has a sukun in the middle letter. So it's 3 letters, and of course sukun in the middle letter. So it's also like a partly flexible. Nuhin. No, so it's fully flexible. So Adnan. So fully flexible. Nuhun is also fully flexible. Salihun, because of course an Arab name, so it's like a fully flexible. Talha is partly flexible because of course it's a unique masculine name. And Zakaria, because of course it's non-flexible because it's actually Mumni on Adwan Buddha, right? So yeah, let me discuss also pronouns shortly. So huwa, huma, hum. هي هما هن أنت أنتما أنتم أنت أنتما أنتن, then نحن أنا نحن. So of course we also discuss the attached form, which is like who will become who, then huma will become huma, of course, or hima, and then whom will become him or whom, and of course hiya will become her, then huma the same like huma, hima, then hunna will become hinna or hunna, then anta will become ka, Antuma will become Kuma or Kima. So then I don't think we don't have Kima, it's only Kuma or Kuma. Then of course like then we have also like Antum, that will become Kum, then Antum will become Ki, then Antuma will become Kuma, then of course we also have Antunna, and that will become kunna. Then of course Ana will become me or you, then NAHW become NA. So these are the attached form. Then the original form, normally they're usually in reference format. So you always have them as often, but the attached format, the attached form of the pronoun can either be in a mess or jar. So how do you know if it is actually a massive or in a jar form? So you just have to check the situation. So there are two conditions that it can actually become jar. For example, when it's of course beaten by half a jar, that is very obvious, so it becomes a drew. So for example, you say Ileika, so because Ila or Anka, Minka, all these are actually half of jar. So in that sense, the car there, which is an attached pronoun, is actually a jar form, right? Of course, it also becomes jar if it is like a model of ilay. For example, if it come after isim. So kitab is an isim, so kitabuka, so kalamuka, all this kind of stuff, it also becomes jar in that sense. Or if it is like a nasib form, then you have to check in two states, in two situations. For example, when it is beaten by of course half of nas, that's very obvious. So if I say in naka, so in that sense, and naka, all those are actually half of nasb, then automatically it become half of the car there become a nasib, of course. Or if it actually come after fi'l. So I also forgot to mention, like if it come after isim in terms of a jar, then it's also acting like mudaf ilay. So kitab is light, there's no reason, it's actually like a light, so it's mudaf. Then ka will become like a mudaf ilay. So it's followed by isim. Now coming back to the nasib, so it's if of course beaten by half of nasb, or if it actually comes after fi'l. So for example, if I say darabaka, like he beats, or darabahu or something like that, he beat him or something like that. So in that sense, it's fa'il, then you have this attachment that follows it, then it become like a massive form. And I think this is the summary we have done so far. I think we're going to continue later, and of course this is the attached format and all this stuff we're talking about. So it's only Kuma, we don't have Kima, of course, it's only Hima or Uma. So yeah, and that's it. So thanks.